Let me leave it to you. Engage your people.
All right. Hi, Adedigba. Good evening. Good evening, Elicio. I'm not sure I pronounced your name very well. I would like you to unmute yourself and probably pronounce your name very well. But can you guys please can you confirm if I'm audible?
I can hear you, Adenike.
Audible.
All right, okay. So you
We're
can
live on YouTube too.
okay. So if you are having challenges speaking where you are, you can please just come to the Q&A and introduce yourself. Tell us your name, if this is your first time of joining today and where you are joining us from. And we are waiting for our tutor, Oluwatobi, will be here soon. The section will start by 6 p.m. West African time. Thank you. So you're welcome. So also, if Adediba can hear me and okay, I have an echo. If Adediba can, okay, sorry, let me check that why I have an echo. Okay, so I would like to confirm if you've been able to create your developer's account. I'm not sure, but I want to check whether you were with us yesterday so that in case you were not here yesterday, we can know how to move from here. You can raise your hand if you would like to talk, or if you don't want to talk, you can use the Q&A and drop your questions there or your comments. All right. Okay. So Elisio, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name very well. Just pardon me. So I think you can now speak now. You can unmute yourself and speak. I can see your hands raised. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Hello, can you hear me clear?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, hello. Hi, my name is Eliseo Torla, and you pronounce it correctly. And yeah, this is my first day attending the boot camp of PowerApps.
Oh, all right. We are so glad to have you here. Where are you joining us from, please?
Yes,
Which part of the world are you joining us from?
I am from the Philippines.
Philippines. Oh, that's good. So good to
Yeah,
have you on the call.
yes, thank you
So,
so much.
um, all right. So, can you please drop your email address in the Q&A?
Yeah,
And I would also
actually, this
send
is my
you there
yeah,
where you can
yeah,
join our WhatsApp community.
what's up?
We have a
Oh,
community on WhatsApp where we share further information after the bootcamp, after the section here. So please drop your email address for me, please.
yeah, here.
So I can also share the recordings of the class with you for yesterday class with you so that you can listen to it. And we didn't really do much yesterday. Yesterday was just like an introductory section. So I'm sure you'll be able to catch up today. So you are welcome, and we are glad to have you on the call. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Am I correct that dropping the email on the Q&A tab?
Yes, thank you. I've received that. Thank you.
That's
So I would advise on the next step to take. Thank you.
welcome.
Hi, Toby. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good
Uh,
evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Adenike, good evening. Good evening, Tayo. Good evening, Glory. Trust you all had a great and wonderful day.
Good evening, Toby.
Good evening.
Okay. So welcome everyone once again. So we have to be on the call. So I would just like to share a quick poll with us to be sure that every one of us have successfully logged on into the Microsoft developers account, the PowerApps, so that we can move quickly from there. So please, I want to believe that we have done that, but let me just check the pillars in the class. Okay, so all right, so I have two people here said they have access to it. Four people said they don't. I don't know who those four are. Please you can chat me up on the group so that I would know what the problem is. But I think we made that clear earlier that everyone should have the account, and if you have any issue, you should reach out before the class. So let me know those people that you can send a mail or a chat on Q&A. Let me know those people that are having issues. Is it that you didn't receive the email or you have challenges logging in? But I'll just be taking that while I hand over to Toby to continue with the class. Hi, Toby. Over
Sorry,
to you.
sorry, I didn't care.
Yes, please.
They shouldn't drop it in Q&A. They should
Okay.
drop it in WhatsApp chat. Don't drop any question related to the account on the chat. It's going to be distracting every other person in class.
Okay, that's fine. And in case you are not on the WhatsApp, I'll resend the link here again for you to join.
That is because it's limited resources. So if you've gotten an email in your mailbox for Microsoft developer account and you still have challenges as of today, as of this time, please go to WhatsApp, log your complaints, go to the WhatsApp channel or the WhatsApp community and put in your complaint. Please do not put your challenges in the Q&A section so we do not distract every other person while the class is going on, right? Thank you. That's what I wanted to chip in. Adenika, you can just drop the link to the
All
WhatsApp
right.
chat on
I've done that already. So please, you can make your complaints on the WhatsApp community. Thank you. So Toby, over to you. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining us. I'm Toby, and I'll be taking. Oh, sorry. Okay, my video was not on. I thought it's my audio. Oh, please confirm you can hear me clearly, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Oluwatobi, and I'll be taking the class for today. All right, so welcome back to class. And for those that were here yesterday, it's another day to learn something great. Yesterday we talked about low code being the solution to what is happening in this era. We also talked about Power Platform being what we're working on. We did a lot of talking yesterday, so today we'll be getting our hands dirty and I'll be carrying you on through all of that. Okay, so without wasting much time, first thing first, let me share my screen. For the benefit of those that might just be joining us for the first time, or for the benefit of those who were yesterday but didn't get all that we talked about. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, I should come to the top. Okay. All right, so I'll not be running through what we talked about yesterday, and I believe you should be seeing my screen right now. So yesterday we talked about low code, talked about the Power Platform, and we talked about the components under the Power Platform, and we made it clear that the Power Platform was a family name. It's just like me bearing Yusuf. I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and we all bear Yusuf. That's our family name. Our family name, right? More like your surname. Um, but under the Power Platform, you have the individual entities, just like the siblings have their individual names. I bear Toby. So the same way we have Power Apps, and like I said, when you hear the word apps for building application, low code apps. We talked about Power Automate for automating repetitive processes. All those manual processes that you keep doing over and over again. You can build a system around that with your Power Automate. They call it a flow also. You can build a flow and that's why you see this on top. It's also called a flow, but it's bearing Power Automate. I hope you can see my cursor. Right. So, and you can build a flow to help you take over all of those repetitive processes. We also talked about Power BI, which you all acknowledge to be the most popular for visualizing and analyzing your data. Then we talked about Power Pages, which is quite similar to your Power Apps, and it's a way of building a website in a low-code way, your low-code website, where you're deploying websites, by just clicking on buttons and doing some few edits, and you're good to go. Then finally, we talked about Copilot Studio, and we did talk about the former name. So it previously was called Power Virtual Agents. So in some places, you still see Power Virtual Agents, but always take note that it is now being called Copilot Studio, and it's for building copilots, right? More like chatbots that helps take over all of this um, repetitive work as well. So you know a lot about the customer service, how you have to make requests or you call them just to ask for some simple things that a bot can take care of. And we also have some persons or some networks, they'll tell you when they do the analysis that uh, about 50 people were calling for just one request. So imagine somebody sitting there and just picking a call and answering the same thing from different customers. That's waste of resource. When you could have a bot that could handle all of those requests. Then for the ones that cannot be handled by the bot, we talked about the bot can also escalate and move it to the service agent to take over with all of the previous chats. Right. And one thing I didn't talk about yesterday, which I missed out, is even in the Copilot or in all of these tools, what I love right now is within all of these tools, there are some integrations. So all of them work together. You can integrate them together. Well, for example, in your Power Apps, there is the Power Apps Analytics. So it can show you how are people using that app. Are people really using the app? Where people having issue with the app. In your Power Automate also, you also have the analytics that shows you are people using this automation, are people is this flow working for people or it is not working again. So the same way your chatbot, you also have the analytics. I didn't talk about that yesterday. We just mentioned it today. Analytics is your dashboard, your Power BI. You have it integrated, and it shows that people using these chatbots, right? And people are using it. What is the constant request people are having, right? And it will really help you. That's one thing I really love. Again, aside the AI I talked about yesterday, that's one thing I love about the platforms. They're all integrated, into each other, and you learn from the platform. Now, for the analytics of the chatbot, it shows you that 100 of your customers are asking one particular question. That should tell you, or that should send the message to you to let you know that if 100 persons are having issue with this thing, something must be wrong. How do we address this? Is it that they're not saying it? What is the issue exactly? How do I solve that? So analytics help you make a better data-driven decision. Also, across all of these applications I've spoken about, analytics exists, so you can always make better decisions in your applications. In your Power, you can find a better way to build. You can find a better way to visualize something so people are not always asking. You can find a better way to do your chatbot, or you can find a better way to solve a particular issue. People are always asking that, how do I make social requests? They can find a better way to sensitize persons. Maybe you need to send out communication, you need to change how that process is being done. The fact they're asking your customer service every time means that thing is not easy to get, right? So that's one thing I didn't mention yesterday. So now, like I said, we are getting our hands dirty, enough talk. I'll be going to our own environment. So if you have your developer account, please log in there. If you don't, you should have actually. There's no if you don't. So if you don't, I think Adenike is in the WhatsApp group waiting for it or waiting to address all of your issues. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen. So I made sure not to log in so that I would carry everybody along. You might be wondering that, yes, I've been given the username and password. I want to believe we've all logged in. So the first way to go, if you've not, is to type office.com. Let's type office.com. Right. So that's what you do, office.com. Adenike, please kindly assist if I have questions, please bring them up so that I could address them as quick as possible for those that might be having
Okay, no
issues.
problem.
Okay. And
Glory, please, you
please,
can also help me check out for that.
Okay.
okay, thank you very much. Nice. Okay, so we are mine. So office.com. I hope you're all there. I was just trying to look through the Q&A. Please kindly help with that also if you have questions. Okay, so office.com is the first place you go to. This is, I've not logged in. I just logged in for the first time. So it's showing me how to navigate across, right? So it's showing me how to view the content of the site, how to check my apps and other things. So you can just skip all of that. So if you are logging in for the first time, you would also see all of that. But if you're not logging for the first time, you won't see it. So meaning if I log in again, I should not see it. Right? If I log in again, I should not see it. Okay. Apologies. Please a minute. All right. Not to make sure I put my phone on silence. All right. So yes, we can continue. So now when you click on office.com, it brings you to the interface where you can now work on. So the next thing to do is click on apps. 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 So when you click on apps, you click on all apps. All apps. All apps. Okay. Then next, you see Power Apps, you see Power Automate, you see Power BI, and you see Power Pages. You see all of this in the environment. So please let me know if you have seen all of this. So where we are going to now is what Power Apps. So I'll click on Power Apps. I'll click on Power Apps. All right. Power Apps. So this brings me to the interface. So this is the way I even do right now. This is the way I go there. But for some of us that you can master the URL, another way to navigate to your Power Apps, once you've logged in, right? Once you've logged into your account, you can just open a tab and write make.powerapps.com. Right. You can write that make.powerapps.com and that takes you to your Power Apps. So I hope you are all here. Okay. So this is your Power Apps interface, the front end. Okay. So if I come back to my apps, this shows me all of the apps I have access to and everything I can do in my environment right now. So this shows me all of that. So now go to my Power Apps. Let me just run you through. So yesterday I just did an overview of what this looks like. But let me now do a breakdown. Now on your, and please, if I'm too fast, please do well to call me back. Let Grace know so that, or Glory know rather, so that she can call me back. Okay. So the first thing you are being prompted or you see when you go to make.powerapps.com is your home page. Your home page. That's where you see different things that your Power Platform contains, your Power Apps contains. So in my home page, you can see you can create, and if I've created any app here, I would see it. Then all of the learnings, I would see it. So it's just like a summary page. Your home page is like a summary page. So that's home. When you click on create, it shows you how can you start building your app. And there are different ways. You can build your app from blank, from scratch. So from blank means there is nothing there. You're just building from scratch. You can build from Dataverse. You can build from SharePoint. You can build from Excel. You can build from SQL, from Image, and from Figma. If you scroll down, you can also check out for other data sources. If you want to build from other data sources, you can check it out, right? And you can even do more, right? This talking about Power Virtual Agents. The cards are more like chats, bots, not bots rather. cards, right? It's a way of it's more like Power Automate in your teams, right? But we'll not be talking about that today. Then you can also build from templates. So templates are existing platforms, like existing apps that have been done before, and you want to build up from there. You can build up from here, from templates as well. So there are different ways you can build up from. You can go back and check. But that's a summary of what you can build up from. The next thing you see is what learn. Learn basically is resources. You want to learn resources that you can use to build yourself, right? So we won't be able to teach you every single thing in class, but definitely we can point you to the right resources that can help you get your skill or get that skill you're looking for faster. Then next is apps. Apps is where I come to want to build, and why I come to apps is it's easy for me. In my apps, I can do whatever I want to do on my create. So in my apps, right, I can create a new app. If I go to new, I can create my app from here. I can import. So someone might be asking, oh, if I build an application on the Power Platform, can I send it to somebody that is not within this, organization to check it out? Yes, you can. You can export, and you can now import the app, right? And that's a good thing. It means you can work remotely, right? I've done some work remotely for people that are not in the country, leveraging some of these platforms like Upwork. And I do the work in my environment, I export it, and they import it in the environment, and yeah, they're good to go. So you are not limited, right? With the Power Platform, you're not limited to just Nigeria alone. You can also find out or check out for remote opportunities outside and start leveraging them to build. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you here is these three tabs. When you build any app, when I build an app, for example, if I build an app by myself in my own tenants, if I build any app just in my own environment, I would see it under my app. If somebody builds an app, say, let me see, if say, among me builds an app, right, or Olushola builds an app, and he shares it with me, I would see it under shared with me. Then all is summary of everything. So all the apps are built, and all the apps that were shared with me would fall under all. So in case someone shares an app with you, so by default, when you come here, you're on my app. Mind you, by default, you're on my app. So if someone shares an app with you and tells you that, oh, go check your Power Apps, I've shared it with you now come to my app and you're looking for it, you would not see it. You need to go to shared with me or just go to all and you will see it. Okay, so that's that. Then table, this is your database. So I talked about database, and someone might be asking, do I need to, is there a site for database? How do I get to database? Database is the data source by Microsoft for your Power Platform, right? Database is the data source for your application by Power Platform. So you can store by default, all of those things are stored on database. Once you're creating them, they are being stored on database, but you can use any data source. You can use any data source. Us here will be leveraging SharePoint. We'll be leveraging SharePoint. You can use any data source. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Then the next thing, so this is your database here. If you have database, you can use it. So you'll see it here. So the reason I don't have this is because for database, like I said, I didn't mention yesterday, you need, they call it a premium license, right? So database is like a data service on its own. It's very elaborate. Microsoft did a lot of work, so it will cost you more to use that. So you need license to use that. So we don't have that. Well, never mind using SharePoint. But the organization already have database, no problem, you can leverage that. And it's actually easy to use. Right? So flows is your Power Automate. And like I said, Power Platform are integrated into each other. I showed you earlier where you could go to chatbots, right? From your creates, you could go to your chatbots from here. Right? That's your Copilot Studio. Now, here you're seeing flows. So this is basically your Power Automates. The Power Automates. Yeah, so it's still loading. I think my internet might be a bit slow. Hopefully, it does not affect us. Okay, but this is basically your flows. So when you see flows, it's Power Automate. So previously it was formerly called Microsoft Flows. The name was Microsoft Flows. but because it's a Power Platform, Microsoft changed the name to Power Automate. We still call them flows. We still call them flows. So yeah, so you see your flows here, your cloud flow, your desktop flow, and your shared with me. So the similar scenario, like I explained for the apps. If you build any flow, you see it here. If any flow is shared with you see it here. Desktop flow is called a flow that you can use on your desktop, on your laptop. It's called RPA. So, for example, I want to log to a site, I want to go and do some things on a site, I want to scrape data from a website. That's the desktop flow, it's RPA. We will not go much into all of those details because we are not covering all of that within our classes. Then more is just showing you other things you can do. So this is your chatbot, just like you have your flows here, because this place is too small to contain everything. So that's why Microsoft just embedded everything. So more, when you click on more, it brings out all of this drop down. And please, as I'm doing this, I hope we are logging into our sites, into our Power Apps, so that we can work together. It will be easier learning that way. But this is recorded, you can always go back to look at it. Then this is your AI hub for AIs. So there are a lot of AI tools Microsoft are doing in their platform. Is their catalog for things that they have. Solution is actually here. So anyone that you're seeing with this icon, it means they are here already. And if I click on anyone, it's going to show. So for example, if I click on chatbots, it will come up here. If, for example, I want my AI hub to show too, I can click on it. It will come here. So depending on the one you want, right? So the rest of them, the choices are choice fields. Then your connections are more like APIs. So in Power Platform, we work a lot with connections. They are more like APIs. If I want to connect to some records, if I want to connect to another database, right, another data source. So one thing about Power Platform is that they are intertwined. So because I want to use another data source, if I've created my app from a data source, by default or by that action, it's going to take that connection of that data source and attach for me. I don't need to come here and start picking the connection, right? This connection is just showing you a more elaborate view. I want to go into my apps and show you what are the connections I have used. It will now show you, right? Then you have the Power Platform. So if you click on Discover All, it will open that interface to show you all of those things that you're under the more, in a better view. It shows you everything. So there are a lot of things in the Power Platform. It's not even a lot. I don't think I myself have touched every single thing, right? So, but as you work with it, you would build. Our goal here is to teach you the fundamental, and from there you can build more on what you have. So let me go to my apps and let's build. So let's create. I want to create from scratch. Right? I want to create from scratch. If I want to create from scratch, let me go back. I click on create. I go to blank. Then, like I said, we'll be working with Canvas app because it will allow us to work with any data source. The modern driven, like I said, is restricted to database, and you need a premium license for that. So let's come to our Canvas app and click on create. And now, if you want to create, you can build what we call a template. You can choose template or phone. So if you are picking phone, it means that you are building for an handset, like a mobile phone. And that's the good thing about Power Platform. You don't need any special configuration to use on your phone. You can use on your phone by default. You can use on your phone by default. So I'll be clicking on tablets and I can just give test, for example, and create this. All right, so that's coming up. Okay, so please, so many of us are here. Are we following? Can I get reactions? Are we following? Following? Can I get reactions? That. All right. So just click on close. Copilot is in everything. So Microsoft are pushing their Copilot. Then I'll just click on don't show again. So this app looks like this is the interface. I'm trying to check the charts and because I'm seeing 19 on our, okay, yes. I was trying to navigate back to the call to make sure to check if I see any question or any things that we have there. All right. So this is the interface. So do we have this open on our app?
Hello, Toby.
Yes, I'm
Please,
with you.
we have some questions on the Q&A.
Okay.
So Sean is asking for a
I'm
little
checking.
recap.
Okay. Is it on the app?
Sorry, I didn't get. Oh,
app.
Sean. Okay, Sean, please,
Okay.
can you send a message if you're on the app?
Just recap on the app. So let me go back to PowerApps. I talked about the home. Home is showing you an overview of everything you have in PowerApps. This interface is similar. Let me quickly navigate to Power Automate. As I'm doing for PowerApps, it gives you an idea of what it looks like for all of the other Power Platform tools as well. If I go to Power Automate, you'll see a very similar interface. Definitely, the interface are different, but like I said, somewhat similar in a way, right? It's somewhat similar in a way. Okay, so I'm trying to remove this shares stuff that is showing on my screen here. This should come up in a bit. I guess I think that's my network. Okay. But like I said, home shows you the home page. Geez, you can do a lot of things from here. You can just start building from here. For example, you want to see the list of your app, you can see it from here. You want to go to learning. So home is just like an overview page, just like a normal website. Your home page is an overview page. So you can see a lot of things from your home page. It's just a summary view. Outside your home page, you have create. Create is when I want to build. I can create things from here. I can build anything, right? So I can build my app from here. Learn is your resources. I want to learn. I want to check out documentations. That's what this learn is about. More like documentations. Then app, it shows you all of the apps you've created. All of the apps I've created will be showing here. Shared with me is the app that was shared with me. Then all, right? So in just a minute, let me stop sharing this and share from an environment where I've done something so that it makes more sense. Maybe that would give a better explanation. So please confirm you can see the screen I'm showing you now. Then a new screen. Hopefully, are we seeing it? Hopefully. Okay. Yes, I am on the application. On the app. Please, if I'm breaking at any point, let me know if I'm breaking. But this is what I was just trying to tell you about. Is the app I've created, right? Shared with me is the app that was shared with me. I didn't build this. This was built by Daniel, right? This was built by one system, right? So these are I didn't build all of this. So Daniel shared this app with me. Daniel is in this environment, right? And he shared this app with me. This is this app Daniel built here. All is everything together, both my app and the app that was shared with me. Everything is there together. Table is showing me. So this is my account. I have other things in my account. This is where you can create your database table, right? You can also create you can even create. You can go and create SharePoint from here, right? And you can connect so that not create SharePoint. You can connect your database to your SharePoint from here, right? And you can do a lot of amazing things from this end as well too. A lot of amazing things. Then your flow is basically your Power Automate, right? Your Power Automate. And like I said, everything here, right? It's outside the PowerApps, but they work together with PowerApps. So if I click on more, click on discover all. If I click on more and I click on discover all, so just let me check my network. Okay. The network is strong. All right. So yeah, if I click on more and I click on discover, it's going to show me everything that I'm seeing under more. And this is everything. My chatbot, my website, my AI hub, my table and all of this, right? This is everything. Then finally, the Power Platform is the whole interface. But I think that's basically it for the Power Platform. But don't worry too much about all of this, right? So there are a lot of things here. I can't start breaking each of them down for you. There are some that you would learn as you are building. In short, as we are building together, there are some that would still come to talk about, right? There's some that will come to talk about as we are building together. That's everything. So and one thing I think I did mention was you go to your apps, right? You're not limited to, you can share this work out, right? So if I click on this triple dot, this is one of the apps that we're done, and I click on export, I can export this app. It comes out as a package, right? When it comes out as a package, like a document, like a zip file, I can now share it with somebody. Then the person will now go to their own app. The person will go to their own app and then import, right? The person will go to their own app and then import. So now let's go back to our office.com, or let's go back to our PowerApps. Let's go build. Let's go. We're going to build something, and I'll be giving you projects on what you're going to work on. So, like I said, first thing first, you click on home on office.com. When you click on office.com, you'll go to app. When you click on app, you click on all apps. It will show you everything you have access to. So you should have access to PowerApps, right? You should have access to PowerApps. And then in your own environment, you should also have access to SharePoint. SharePoint is free. So we're working with SharePoint. SharePoint is free. We're working with SharePoint. So I'll click on SharePoint. So now what are we going to do now? We're going to build a very simple change management request, right? A change management request. That's what it's called in some places, but I would explain the scenario so that for those that are asking, what's change management request? Have we used that? For every organization, there's always a budget. So meaning for everything, you have your respective budgets. So you have what you budgeted down for the team to use and what the team is now going to use. But some things happen during the year. I remember last year, something happened, Naira was floated. So what that now means is, for example, my team is, say, marketing. And I've told the management, I've done the budget for my team, and I said, oh, management, I'm going to spend 1 million naira for marketing in 2023. That's last year. I'm going to spend 1 million naira. But if you remember, naira was floated. What that now means is that in my own mind, and I'm definitely going to be doing some things with importing some things and doing some foreign, exchange. Like when I mean foreign exchange, I mean I'll be doing some foreign transaction rather, which involves dollar. So in my own mind, I'd used the previous exchange rate to calculate. So I told management that I'll be spending $5 million, or sorry, I was spending 1 million naira for so and so. And in my mind, I was assuming dollar is still was it 100 and something, be how much? Yeah, at that time also. So I did the exchange rate with that mindset, or 500 and something. So I did exchange rate with that mindset. Now fast forward to naira was floated. Naira went directly to around 8,200 or so. It eventually entered 1,200 to 8,000. I think right now 8,500 or 600. What that now means is that if I'd asked my management for 1 million naira, and 1 million naira in terms of dollar, assuming 1 million naira in terms of dollar was then, I need to do quick mathematics, but please forgive my math, it's going to be rough. So if 1 million naira in dollar then was around, say, $1,000, was assuming $1,000. So meaning I'd budgeted $1,000 in my mind. But because dollar been floated, it now means my budget has now come down, right? My money have come down. It means that $1,000 is now like $500. And what I want to buy is still $1,000, right? So I need to go back to management to ask them that, please, I need more money, please. There's no way I will do my work without the money. So in some place they call it request update, some place they call it change management. So it's just different names. Recently, I think I was talking to somebody and he was telling me it's called change management in his own place. I was like, wow, that's what I call it, change management. So now we are going to be creating a database, an application that will help us manage that, right? So meaning, yes, you budgeted something before, right? You budgeted something before, and now they want to make an update on what you budgeted. So how do you now make the requests for that? So that's what we'll be working around today. So let's all stay tuned. All right. So like I said, we'll be starting with our SharePoint. And you might be wondering why I'm opening SharePoint. I think yesterday class. Yeah, still yesterday class. We talked about Jumia app. And I explained how the data you're using on Jumia is not sitting on your phone. But the point I was eventually driving out was it does not matter the system you are building. Every system have a database where the data is being stored. Meaning, if you are building an application, the essence of you building an app is to collect information or to view information or to receive information, right? Either to view the information is on the app, you're just checking it out, or you want to send out the information to somebody, or you want to receive the information. But at the end of the day, my point is you are going to be interacting with data. So any way you look at it, any way you're reviewing it, you would need what you call data. And all of this data need to sit somewhere. So for organizations, some organizations use SQL, some organizations use Oracle, some organizations use SharePoint. I think a couple of organizations in Nigeria use SharePoint. If you get to some organization, you see they use SharePoint. Yeah, why some still use Excel, right? So yes. So for us, we'll be working with SharePoint. So let's navigate to our SharePoint and let's then get ready to build. Right. So now I'm going to, because we are new, right? I would show you how to create a site. Normally, I would have just gone ahead to just start building, but I'll teach you how to create a site. So to create a site, you come to this top site, you see create. Never mind, you know what? We are going to build, I think I would work with the team. So I'll just run through how I'll create the site so that we don't take much time. So I can spend more time on what we're going to be building. Right. So I'll just run through it, but you can always go back to what you're recording. But we'll create a general site for everybody so you can just go on and work there. So that we don't have everybody building on one site. Right. So I want to create a site. I'll create a team site. I'll click on it. It's very easy creating a site. Right. I just need to pick a template. So let me pick this. Just click it, and I want to use this template. So I'll click on use template. So if you see, I've not written any code, I've not done anything. And I'll give my site a name. And let me call this the Power Platform Bootcamp. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake in my spelling of Power Platform. Platform Bootcamp. You can give it a description. You can give it, so by default it will pick use the name as the email address for that. But you don't need to worry. I'll just click on next. I want it to be private. Like I said, don't worry too much about this. Just click on next. I'll create. Right. So it's creating the site. I'm not adding anybody to my site. But it's as simple as that to create a site. So most times in your organization, you already have a site. This part is being handled by the IT team. So in a lot of cases, you don't have to worry. If you are still interested, just go back or go through the recording and check it. It's very easy to do. So it's creating the site for me and it's applying that template. So that will take a few minutes and it's done. So I'll click on finish. So it's directing me to that site. And this is the site. So like I said, in most organizations, this is already done. So in a standard organization, each team already have a site. So meaning when you're getting to the organization, HR already have the site, IT have the site, the company account finance have their site, security have their own site. So you can just use what is there. But we need to create, in case they don't have, you can create what the way I showed you now. And there's also a company-wide site, right? So it's existing already. You don't need to worry about this. The next thing is I want to create a database. You have to be collecting the information because that's where I need to start from. Is that database I will now connect my app to, right? So that any information I'm putting on my app will go to what my database. So let me go to my app. and create my database. All right, so I'll click on new and I'll click on lists. The database I'm creating is what? A SharePoint list. A SharePoint list. Just a reminder, Gloria Denike, please, if there are questions, do well to prompt me so I answer them as quick as possible. What I want to create is a SharePoint list. SharePoint list. I'll click on list, and it's very, very easy to use. I'm creating a blank list. So, for example, you are building an app for HR, and the app you are building for HR is an onboarding app. Go ahead and use the employee onboarding app, as you can see. And the other ones you can use as well. There's asset management, right? You want to build an application to help manage the organization, you can just use all of these templates. But for our case, I'm using the so please, can you see my screen? And if you're seeing, what are you seeing?
Yes, we can see your screen there, Toby. Someone is asking that she doesn't have SharePoint on PowerApp.
SharePoint on our site, right?
Yes, yesterday she said we don't have
All right.
SharePoint on this environment.
All right. Apologies. After the class, I would look into that and would add that I noticed the SharePoint was not there. So it's a backend thing. Would fix that. It's a backend thing from the admin center. We'll look at that after the class. So once we are done with the class, we would refresh. We'll just ask you to refresh, right, on the WhatsApp group. We'll talk to you in the WhatsApp group, and that will be sorted out. So apologies for that bit of the SharePoint, right? But once I go to the app, you can follow me on the app. But for this SharePoint side, I noticed that also when I check my site, so would fix that. Apologies. All right. So like I said, if you are building any app for a template, you can use all of these templates. So if you're building any database and it's related to anyone here, you can use this template. But I'm building from scratch so that we understand how this works. So I'll click on blank list because I'm building from scratch. And sorry, one thing I wanted to show you. Let me cancel this and start again. New lists. If you have an Excel data, you don't need to start building from scratch. You can use your Excel data directly here. A lot of times, a lot of organizations, or a lot of organizations, you already have all of this data in an Excel sheet. So instead of you having to build that from scratch, you can just use your Excel. Scratch. Just let us know how it works. So we are building, like I said, a change request. So please let's follow as your assignment will be to replicate this, right, and share it with me. I will show you how to share because you'll be sharing it. All of us are in the same environment, so you share it with me. All right. So change. Change. I said requirements. Requests. Change request. So I'll call this change request list, and it's just this. Okay. Then I'll toggle this on, show you my site navigation, and I'll click on create. So if I do that, it's going to show here. It's going to come up. You can see it's coming up here. So that I can easily navigate there. So what do I want? You can look at what should I be requesting for a change request, and I gave you the use case, right? I explained the use case. So what should I be? I know that I would want to definitely get the name of the person that is making the request. So I'll click on add new column. So in your SharePoint, you can add different kind of columns. There is text, that's single line of text. You just want to collect basic information. Name, email address, the house address, it's text. Text. If it's a choice, is he a boy or a girl, like gender, male or female, it's choice. Date and time is explanatory. Date, time. Multi-line of text. Now, there are times you want people to give description. Describe the situation. This single line of text contains 255 characters. Take note, 255 characters. The text contains 255 characters, but the multi-line of text can take 69,999 characters. That's more like 11, I think 10 to 11 You're typing on Microsoft Word, right? And you type 10 pages. Yeah, it will take that that what line of text is that much. So there are times you want people to give description and you want to give them that view, that stretch to explain, right? So that much line of text is almost unlimited. Then person column is you want to know the person, right? I want to know the person that's doing that. Then number restricting instead of text or OY, you want to restrict to number. Then yes or no, yes, no, yes, no. So that's it. So I want to get the full name. That's definitely a text, single line of text. So I'll click on next and I'll just give it a name. Oh, this is the full name of the person I want to collect. Full name. I want to collect the person's full name. So what else do I want to collect? I want to collect the person's department. So for department, I'll just use choice because most times you already know a department. Let's use a choice department. So I'll just pick some few departments. So I'll call this the person's department. So let me just use IT. So I'll just edit those choices. This IT, finance, HR. Apologies if I'm using some department. If I have not used your department, it's because these ones are popular. All organizations would have an IT, they would have a finance, and they would have HR. That's why I use that a lot. So let me add another one. So the thing is that you're not limited to 3. You can also add more choices. And you can remove, right? You can remove and add. So let me just call this security. Okay. And I would save. That's that. So you will see that here. So I've gotten the name, I've gotten what's the department. Next thing I want to do is I want to get what should I get again? Please let's put what you can get in the chat. What information do you think I should also ask from this person's what information? So I know I would also want to get the date, that is when that request was made, right? So I also want to get the dates. I'll click on dates, and I'll click on next, and I'll put the dates there, and I'll save. So it's just that simple. Put the name and you save. So this is a table that's coming up. I'm creating the header of this table. Then the next thing I would also want to get, and please let me know if there are feedbacks on what, if anybody had put anything in the chat. That put the description. Then I can put in the
Okay,
request.
Toby.
Yeah.
James is asking if the columns on SharePoint are nullable by default.
Come again, I didn't get that.
James is asking if the columns on SharePoint are nullable by default.
Yeah, apologies. James, if you can help me share more light. When you say nullable, what exactly do you mean? Okay, thank you, Solar. I'm saying status, priority, comments. Yeah, thank you. I'll add that. But please, James, if you can share more light on what you mean by nullable. All right. So I'm waiting for that. Okay. So let me just use the other ones that people recommended. Status. Yes, we want to get status. Okay. Yes. They are. They are. They are nullable by default. If that's so, according to James, he said nullable means if it takes a default value of null. Null means blank, right? Null means blank. So yes, they're nullable. However, you can restrict it, right? I can put recommendation that this must not be nullable. But yes, your answer to your question is yes, they are nullable by default. They accept a non-value by default, but you can restrict it. And you can restrict on the database level on SharePoint, and you can even restrict on the app level, right? I'll show you both. You can restrict on database and on the app, right? So next thing I want to do is I want to put the status. So I'll make that status a choice, because when the person is creating the request, it should be pending. When the person have sent it out to the manager to approve, the manager can either approve it or reject it. Right. So that's status. So I'll put status. Then I'll change the first choice to what? It's pending by default, or it's pending. And I'll put the second one to be approve. Then the third one to be what? Reject. And once I'm done with that, so now one thing I do here for status, and thanks for pointing status, is by default I put pending. By default it is null, right? So our department by default is null. But for this I'll put pending. What this means is that if the person just send the request, right? Let the status be pending. The person send, because when you send a request, you want me to approve. So by default it should be pending, right? It means pending. And I'll click on save. So I'll put status, then let me just put the other three, then we can jump onto the app. The next one I want to do is priority. So yes, let me put choice, priority. So the priority, I think we have normal, we have important, then you have urgent. All right. Then I'll save this. But before I save this, just to mention, in reality, right? Just to address. So in reality, because I've worked across a lot of organizations building apps. So in reality, that to build something like this, I will tell you that you should not allow people pick the priority. You should have a matrix, by yourself as developer to define the priority. But because we are trying to keep this simple, would make it an option for them to pick. Reason being, a lot of people will tell you it's important, right? They tell you, everybody will tell you everything is important. Even if it's they're going to deliver it in 2 months' time, they'll tell you, it's urgent, it's urgent, it's urgent, it's urgent. And it's funny, but it's true, right? So in reality, try to find a metric, right, to put priority. All right, so I'll save. And when I say metrics, look for a way. So forget the grammar. What I ask me is that look for a way you can define metrics and you can define priority. For me, I can be delivery dates, right? I can ask them to put when do they need that task to be done. So if the date is between 2 to 5 days, I can say automatically let this be. So I'll just do all of those, other levels. So if the delivery date is between 2 to 5 days, let it be urgent. With 5 to or 6 to 20 days, let it be important. If it's above 20 days, let it be normal, right? So that's one way you can do it. Some people can use the sender. If the person sending this request is the CEO, please, is urgent. If the person sending this is a senior executive, it's important. Then if the person sending this is a normal staff, it's normal. So metrics is different. It differs from person to person. I'm just telling you this off experience. So learn to define that. If not, somebody that needs something in 3 months' time will tell you it's urgent. Meanwhile, there's somebody that needs it like now. Mm-hmm. All right. So priority, then yes, comments. So description, right? Let me add that also. For this, like I said, from experience as well, you don't want to give them this text to type. You see a lot of people type more than 255, and they type more than 255, it will not enter, it will not submit, right? So always use multi-line of text when it has to come to description, right? Description. So this is the description for the request, right? So always use multi-line of text. Then save. So now, thank you very much. We've done all of that. Now, the other thing I'll be putting also to the database is when the person approve, I would know, right? But the person approved, the person might want to put some comments that, oh, yes, do this, do that, or the person might want to do some other things, right? So I'll be capturing all of those as well too. I'll be capturing all of this as well. Sorry, please. Sorry, please. A minute. I need to change my network.
So thank you for your patience. Toby would join very soon. Thank you.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Toby.
Sorry, I was muted. Could you hear me? I was muted. Hello, I hope you're hearing me now. I was muted. I didn't know I was muted.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Apologies. Okay, so now what we've done right now is we've captured the basic information that we need for the app. So we're giving them that description. So I said the people that are approving, they also need to drop their comments. Oh, if they're rejecting, they need to tell us why they're rejecting. And if they're approving, they need to tell us why they are approving. So let me put a column to capture their response. So the person that is approving or rejecting would also want to put a comment, right? Oh, this is why I'm approving, this is why I'm rejecting. So let me add a multi-line of text and next. So this is the decision comments. After they approve or reject, they can now give us more information, and it's not compulsory. So I think this comes back to that to James' question. If they don't put anything, we will accept it. But if they put something, we'll also accept it. So I would save this. Then I think with that we are fine. We are good to go. So yes, I think with this we are good to go. Yeah. So now I'm going back to what my Power Apps. If you remember, I told you to go to office.com, then go to apps. If you go to office.com and go to apps, it's going to bring you to your interface where you have everything, right? Everything. So right now, I'm going to Power Apps. Power Apps. And I want to build a blank app. So I'll create and I'll build from what? From blank. And I'll go on to what? Click on create. So we are calling this a change management app. Change management app, and I'll create. Right. So now this is what the interface looks like. Right. This is what the interface looks like. Right? What's this? What should I do? So first thing first is when you come to your app, save. Save your app. First thing first, save your app. I'll save the app. Publish. Publish. So if you notice, I click there to save. I'll come here and publish. So that would also go ahead to publish my app. I publish the app. And why is so that once you save, every 2 minutes it will be saving by itself. But if you don't save and something happens, everything you've done, even though you've done 10 apps or 10 screens, everything will go. So just save the app. So now I've saved and I've published. That's fine. So next thing, I can now start working on my app. So I want to rename this my first screen. It's called screen 1. So I want to rename this and I'll call this what? My home screen. My home screen. Home screen. Okay. So now I want to start the app. So there are a lot of things about Power Apps, but let me just run you through the basic things when it comes to Canvas app. And like I said, flexibility. Someone can design an app today, right, within this class, and it will look very wild than what we're doing. And it's because the person has a better design, mindset. So if you can design very well, is a plus for you. So now this is your tree view. This is where you'll be seeing everything you're building on your app. This is your insert. If you want to bring in anything on the app, this is your data. If you want to add any data source, this is where you add it. This is your media. If you want to add any video, graphics, picture, use it. Your flow, Power Automate, like I said, is integrated Power Automate with this. Then for the other, you don't need to worry too much about them. We don't really use much of them, but we'll actually use some of them. Actually, we use variables. So variables are containers. For example, I want to store something in my app while I'm working. For example, the name of the user. I can store it when the app starts, and as I'm building on the app, other things can come in, right? So you don't need to worry about advanced tools, but just to know, it's just for you to monitor. Like I said, if you want to see if your app is doing well, you can come here and monitor it and check it. Then you can better look at it and then do better thing on the app. Then search is if you're looking for anything within your app, you can search and you'll find it. Right? You might be wondering why you're having search, but sometimes you build your app, it's very big. You have 15 screens with small things inside, and I'm looking for one small thing. So if you search, you just find everything and you can replace. Let me come back to my tree view and let's start building something. So first things first, let's design our home page, right? Our home page. Something
Okay,
just
sorry, Oluwatobi. Olaya is asking that you should be a bit slower, that you are too fast. Thank you.
okay. Yeah, thanks for that. I'll say that. All right. So yes, you can follow while I'm building this. It's the second screen that you would not need to follow because I'll be connecting my data to my app. But you can follow. So I want to believe we've created our app if you are following. So let me go and start from scratch. Go to your app. Okay, office.com. And I believe we've opened our app already. I want to believe we've opened our app. So you open Power Apps. When you open your Power Apps, you go to your create. When you go to create, you go to blank. blank. Then you click on create. You are creating a Canvas app. So you click on create under your Canvas app. Then when you click on create under your Canvas app, click on tablets. You give it a name. So I'll just call this a test. I won't save this. So then you create. So we give the name change request app. Change request app. I hope you'll be able to follow to where I am now. Then you create. So this brings you what to the interface. This brings you to the interface. So first things first, you save. First things first, you click on save. You save. Then just click on it. Just click on it to save. Then click on publish. That's it. And oh, I think I've changed name. Oh, sorry, yeah. All right, so it should be here right now. It should be here. Let me change this back to the thing. How do I change it? Apologies, I'm used to do it. Save screen should be on this screen. I don't know why this thing keeps popping up. Please, at any point, if you can't see my screen, please let me know because this stuff keep popping up and I don't know if it's like taking off my screen. So please, please let me know. All right. So now I want to change this to my home screen because I want to design my home screen. So I'll click on this dot 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 and I'll click on rename. And I'll rename this to what? My home screen. Home screen. So just click on the name inside, delete it and write home screen and click anywhere outside. Anywhere outside. So I hope we've gotten that. Thank you. So now I run you through what each of these do. This is the tree view to show you. And like I said, please, me saying it does not mean you grade everything at once. With time, there's some things you also get because what I'm saying that is, as you are building, you get to learn some things better. All right. I'm just showing you all of this just to let you know that this exists. All right. So you have the tree view, you have the inserts, you have the data, you have the media, you have your Power Automate flow. Let's take this 5, for example. Let's just stop here. Now, the first thing I want to do, you would not see this. I can't remember what I was following, but you will not see this part. But if you click on this data, yes, you will see data. Now, remember I created the database, my app, right? I would connect it. Well, let's come back to that. So the first thing I want to do is I'll go to my inserts and then I'll bring in a button, and I will explain what that does as we're using them. So now I'll click on button, this button here. You can just search. If you type button, it's going to bring it up for you. Button. So this is button. So if you click on button, hope you are following. If you click on button, this should come up for you. So I'll just increase this a bit and I'll drag it. Now, what's your button? Your button is what you use to perform an action on your app. Just like your login. If you go to your Gmail app, like I use for example, there's a place you put your username, you put your password, then you put your login. So let me just show you what that looks like. So let me come back to my inserts. Come back to your insert. This is what insert. Click on it. Insert. So insert. Then click on what? Text label. I'm sorry, not text label. Not text label. Input. Just a minute. Sorry. So please confirm you are here. Please drop your questions here. You don't have to put your questions here. Okay. Okay. All right. So now, so what I want to do now is show you what you have on that Gmail app, right? So now you look for text input. And like I said, you can search. You can search text input. I'll click on text input. There's a text input. And I'll bring it here. Text input. Then click on your text input again. I'll explain all of this. What it is. Then, so just click on it, text input, and drag it under. So this text input, this is your button. Then I'll bring in a text label. Click on it, text label. I'm clicking on it now. So this is text label, and I'll position it here. I'll click on it again, text label. It's just click on it and drag it. So I'm just positioning it. So just can follow along. Click on it. So I hope we've clicked on it and we have been able to do all of this that I've done. Yeah, I'm actually checking the charts in case. Okay. All right, so I want to believe that you've been able to click on it. So align it. I want to show you what that your junior stuff looks like. Yeah, so that I'll explain what this does. Okay. So if I click on this text and I look up, you are saying text, Abby. So I would call this, I would delete that text and I'll put username. Username. Then I'll click on the second one and I would call it password. Sorry. Now, looking at this, right? This looks like what's okay. Then don't need to follow me at this point. I just want to do some edits. Don't need to follow me. I just want to do some edits. So I'll click on login. Then let me remove what I have here. Okay. So I just want to remove what I have in here. Okay. Now let me play this. This looks like what your app would look like. Your normal Gmail app would look like. Right? Username, password. You type in the username, and you type in the password, and you log in. This is what it looks like. I also need to design it better, right? This is what it looks like. So just like what it looks like, that's what it means. Now let me come back to where we are building, and let me explain this. These two things, they are called your text label. If I want to show information on my app, just show. Welcome. How are you? Welcome to the app. It is text label, right? It's a label, right? That's what it's called, text label. I want to show. If I want to collect information from the app, it's called what? Text input. I want to collect information into the app. I want to input data. That's why this is our text label. This is what our text input. Then your button is what will now submit it. Oh, log in, submit the work. Go to the next screen, submit. Sorry, that's what your button does. All of those actions, that's what your button does. Hope that's clear. So we're not doing all of this. I'm just using to explain what those things mean. So your button, you want to perform an action on your app, is your button. If you want to show an information, is your label. And if you want to impute an information, is your text input. All right. So I will remove all of this from my app because, like I said, you don't need to worry too much. I'm just using that to describe something for you. So let me come back here. So like I said, I started with what button. So I'll click on button again. I'll position it well. And I'll position it well. Now, and I'll go back to my tree view. So I'm on this thing. I'll go back to my tree view. And you can see on my tree view now, I have what? My screen and I have the button. So anything you're imputing will be showing here. If I go to my insert and I just bring in everything, just do something. Right. And I go to my tree view, you can see everything showing. So your tree view shows you a summary of everything you have on your app. So we don't need this. Okay. Don't need this. We don't need this. So what we just need is what? Our button. And when you come to your button, you click on it. You come to your button and click on it. This is what they call the property bar. This property. You can make a lot of changes here. And everything you do here affects your button. So first thing I want to do is I want to change this name from what? Button to login. Yes. Adedigba, yes, you are correct. Test input is more like user action or user to type, for them to type. Yes, exactly. Now, your button is meant for you to perform an action, right? So when they come to my home screen, I want them to navigate to the next screen, right? I want them to go to the next screen. So I'll come to my button, then I'll click on, I'll change this name, button. I'll change it to what? Log in or login. So login, and I can position it well. A lot of times your home screen is more like for your design, for Outlook, and so for your app to look, very nice and very okay. So for example, when you log to the app, it's good that you show them your app, right? It's good to show them your app. So like I said, you want to show them information. You're not typing, just show them. Remember what I said, label. You want to show them information. So I'll go back to my insert and I'll click on this plus and I'll click on what? Label. Then I can just position it here. So this, similarly to what I did here, I want to change property. Now if I click on each of them, I can change the property of each of them. So now I want to change this one. So I'll click on this label and I'll change it to this. Once I click on it, on the property bar is what they call text. So I'll just change this to what? Change request app, right? And I'll just click out. So if I click, you can see it's now big. So you can make it, you can stretch it. Just click on it and stretch. You can stretch it. And like I said, anything you do here will affect your app. So I want this thing to be big. I want the text to be bigger. So if you look under, when you click on it and you come to your property bar, you can see text. You can see this font size or the font, right? That's the font. You can use this if you like. You can go to any other one if you like, right? So I've just changed my own, right? And just for user experience, it's always best to have, like a unique kind of font, right? Then it's too small, right? It's too small. So let me make it big. Let me change it like a 25. So you can see it's big. If it's not big enough, I can change it to like a 30. Okay, it's fine. But I want it to be bold. I want it to look bigger, right? So I can come to my normal font weight, click on it, and I can make it what? Semi-bold, or I can just make it bold. So all of these, like I said, there are a lot of properties. You want to spend time explaining each of these, will not finish class because you have property, you have advanced. So let's also take our time to look at it, play around it, and when you play around it, questions will come up. Let's have those questions. Let's ask on the charts, and you can also reach out to ask a question. Or next class, you can also ask a question. So yes, you can edit and make all of these changes here. All right, and if you want to change the color as well, we can change the color. Then next I want to do is what I want to put in. So next I want to do is I want to just position my login to look better here. All right. Then the size of the, what did I say? The size. The background is white, right? Is white. So you just click on the background. If you want to change the color of the background, click on the background. You'll see a fill color. A fill color. Yes, you are still on screen one. You are still on screen one. It's because I'm on the inserts. If I go back to my tree view, I'm still on screen one. I've not left screen one. All this is still on screen one. I'm still on screen one. So everybody. So I'll click on my screen, the main screen. I'll just click on it. I'll click on the fill. So I can change the color to anything I want. So let's say I want to give it a light gray. Is it light gray? So depending on what exactly you want, right? So you're not restricted. You can do whatever you want to do, right? Whatever you want to do. So let me give it a light gray. Like I said, what I'm just doing for this is the UI, right? So I'll just do a very simple design. So I've done this gray. and I want to have maybe a background of white. So I can go to, I want a background of white, right? So I'll go back to my inserts. I'll go back to my inserts. What I did here, just to recap, what I did here is I clicked on the screen and I changed the color to light gray. You can change it to whatever you want to change it to. It does not mean. Then you come to my inserts. I'm coming to my inserts. Then I want to add.
Toby, please, we
Yeah.
have some questions.
Okay. Which exactly? I've answered the one on text input and the one on screen one. Hello? Sorry, please can you help me with the questions you talked about? Can anybody hear me? Okay, I'll just continue. Hello, okay. I'm muted if anybody's saying anything. All right. So I've answered the question on text input. The text input, like I said, is to collect information for the users to type. Like I said, yes, correct. Then the screen one, we are still on screen one. I've not left screen one. So because you're not seeing screen one does not mean I'm not there. It was because I went to my insert. Because the space is not big enough. So Power Platform leverages the same space. If I click on tree view, it shows here. If I click on insert, it changes that and it shows me my insert. If I click on data, it shows me my data. Right? So it still leverages the same view. So let me go back to my tree view. Let me go back to my tree view. All right. So now I want to bring in, so sorry, I think I was on rectangle. I want to bring in a rectangle and I'll explain that. So this is just purely for design. Please take note, just purely for design. I'm not doing anything with this. It doesn't have any special feature or stuff. No, just for design. So I'll just stretch this. So I just click on my rectangle, brought it in. You can position it well. So I want to position it well. All right. Then I also want to turn this to what? White. I'll turn this to white. Like I said, this is purely for design purposes. It's nothing special. It does not do any special thing. That's your rectangle does not do anything special. It's just for design. All right. So I want to turn this to white. Sorry. So if I click on it, don't forget if you click on it, it shows the property. I can change property from there. So I've clicked on it. I'll now go to this color. I'll click on color and I'll turn this to white. Right. Then I'll also turn this color. The border is still blue. So I can just turn the border to maybe a gray color, something thicker, or something. Sorry, and make it so. All of this is. Well, now you'll be asking, Toby, but we have a text, right? We have a text. There's text that is here. All of those things I want our people to see. Yes, I want them to see it. So it should be at the front. Just like your PowerPoint. You use PowerPoint a lot. You draw a box, draw another box, bigger box, to block the back box. So you need to reorder for you to see what's at the back. So you can see your rectangle is what at the front. I'll click on this dot dot dots. The rectangle, I'll click on it, I'll click on the dot dot dot. Then I'll reorder it and I'll send it to the back. You can see this is now here and this is better. Then I want to just add a nice image here, just a fine one. So this is nothing difficult. So I just come to my new tab and I'll just look for any design. But I think I should have some on my app. So you can just search. For me, I think so let me introduce you all. There's what they call icon 8. Icon8.com. Icon8.com. So I'm sure you'd have seen some apps that look very nice because of some aesthetics inside. So if you go to icon8.com, it shows you some of those aesthetics, the free ones, right? Some of those are paid for. And it's not icon8.com. Icon8. They change it. Icon 8, sorry. Icon 8. Okay, this is it here. Oh, icons8.com, not icon 8, icons 8. Apologies. So that's it, the second one. So this some athletics that you can pick up from here. I can put here. So you can search. So to bring out an icon that look like so you can you can download this and bring it to your app. You can download this and bring it to your app, depending on what you want. Right. But for me, I'm looking for a chief. Let me see, there's something I'm looking for. Let me go back to my app. So I mentioned 5 things earlier, right? Like I said, as I using them, we'll be talking about them. So now, one I'm talking about now is your media. Media. Let's go to media. Click on add media. It's going to open your system for you, your laptop. It's going to open your system. And you can upload from your laptop, right? So you might have downloaded some nice things. For example, if you work with UI UX, right? A lot of times you work with UI UX, you work with them a lot, you have designed some things you have and you can just use them, right? Depending on what you want to do. So I think I have some designs on my system, though I kind of formatted my system, so I'm not sure if I'll find it. So I'm just trying to check if I can find any one I put on my laptop. Just a minute. Okay, power give. Let me go on. The old ones. Not sure I have. I'm not sure I have anyone. Let me just just a minute, please. A minute. Sorry. All right, so I didn't see the one I was looking for. So let's just go and download one. So just come here and look for give for apps on Google. This Google, so you're not limited. Look for apps, or you can just look for a Google for a inventory app. So these are some nice ones. Let's pick this for example. Let's click on that. So these are these are easy. So let's click on this and let's download it. So save images. I hope you are seeing my screen now. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Okay.
We can see your screen.
So you are saying what the Google stuff I'm browsing, the GIF and stuff. What I'm
Yes,
saying.
we can.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so I'll just save this under Techlytics, and let me just save this as this. I'll save it there. All right, let's go to our app. So someone is saying is unable to send his rectangle to the back. Now, let's go back to our tree view. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. This is the other one I was creating. Let's go back to our tree view. Tree view. Come to your app. So by default, this would be at the front. By default, your rectangle is here, Abby. Rectangle is here. Oluwaseun. Yes, your rectangle is here. So just click on that dot by the side of the rectangle and click on reorder. Click on click on reorder and send to the back. That's one way. Another way is you can right click on the app. So you can right click on the rectangle, reorder and send to the back, and that goes to the back. That should work. So what I was just doing was downloading a very nice image. So download anything, you can just check. So you can browse. If that's not good enough for you, you can download and just check for that one. So me, I'm fine with that. I've saved that in my app. Now let's go to our media and bring it in. So this will show you how to use the media, right? So now on the media side, on the media side, I want to upload a media, right? Is so you can see you can bring in an image, a video, and audio. So I'll bring in add the media and I'll click on upload. So let me just go to where I downloaded that. I kept it in Techlytics. I click here and open. So that will come to the app. Sorry, I forgot my just turned off. All right. So that will come to my app. But you're wondering why is it not here? Because it is just on your app. You need to click on it to bring it to your app. So if I click on it, it will come to my app. I just need to do what? Click on it and just stretch it. Right. So you can see it's still moving. That's a good thing about PowerApps. It does not restrict you. And with that, we have our home screen. Fine and good. I mean, so these are many of us are able to do our home screen. So this is just a basic design, right? So a lot of you can go back, work on this, do something better off than what you've done in the class today. So how many of us have been able to do our home screen? Okay, so apologies. I know I've not been explaining how I was getting here. So just to show us how I was getting here. Let me close this. So for me to show the app in that full view, right, so that everybody can see it, come to play, this play here, preview. So preview shows you like you're designing, you're building, it's small. But once see it, how would my user see the app? How would my user interact with the app? Just click on this play, it will now show you how to zoom into it. Then if you click on this close, it goes back. So click on play. So I hope I've been able to do this at the very least. I hope I've been able to do this. All right. So you can close this and go back to your tree. Doing it already. About inserting my image. Okay. And so icon 8 is where you can see all of those little graphics like apps. But the thing is that I'll need to start searching for the one I want to use, right? So Google was the faster way to go. So I just went to Google to search for this GIF for interface. So the other things that you can see there, just to explain that they're not restricted to icon 8, right? It's just one. There's another one I know of, but I don't know them off, and I'll try to get them too. Right? So you can get all of these very nice things. Right? So, but you can go to Google and use Google. Google have this stuff, and I like this one because it's always kind of moving. It always makes sense. All right, so I'll come to my app. So let me come to my button and just do some little modification. When I open the app, I said it was too big, so let me reduce it. Then you can see that your button is what is curved, right? If I play this, it was looking too big, it was curved, but let me leave it like that. But no, let's remove this curve. Let's make it square, like your rectangle. So you want to make it square so that you would learn in the process. I'll go back to my tree view, so I'll see everything that I'm working on. When you click on your button, you see what the properties of the button. When you click on your button, you see the properties of the button. Now, on the properties of the button, as you're working with them, you get to understand and you get to know them more. But I'll be sharing light into some of those properties of those buttons, right? So now what we want to look into is what we call the border radius, right? Border radius of the button. The border radius of the button. So now to go to the border radius of the button, click on the button. Click on the button. I'll click on this drop down here. This drop down. So this drop down is a summary of all of the properties you're seeing here. This text now, if I click on this drop down here, I'll see text. If I scroll down to T, this text, login. This display mode, if I come to this head next, I'll look for what display mode. D is arranged alphabetically. You see what display mode dot edit, right? So now I'm looking for what? Border radius. Border radius is not, so this border radius of 10, right? I can turn this to 0 and play this. So yeah, that changes this. But sometimes you want to do some design. Let me show you what I mean. Maybe you want this down to be curved and this place to be curved. That does not mean any sense now, right? Because we would not be doing it for this case. But there are some cases that might be needed. But I just want to show you that. Now I want the edge of my down to be curved and the edge of this one to be curved. This border radius, I've minimized it and I've clicked on the property. I've clicked on this, so show me the property of the button. If I click on the button and I come to the property, this border radius is changing everything at once. But no, I don't want to change everything at once. I just want the down radius to be what? Curve, right? So I would come to this drop down and I'll look for the border radius. Radius bottom. Sorry, no. Border radius is the general name. Radius bottom. Radius bottom left means the radius of the bottom that is at the left here. Radius bottom right means radius of the bottom that is right. Radius bottom left, top left means radius of the top left. Radius top right means the radius of the top right. So let's just change. So I'll show you what it does. So I'll just change the left. This left is on 0. So let me just change it to 20. So I'm changing what? Radius bottom left. That's left, right, left. Left is here. And I'll click. So you can see. Show me. Let me play. So can you see? So if I do radius bottom right, it will change this. Radius bottom changes. But let's just leave everything square. So I will change that back to 0. So I just want to show you that there are a lot of things you can do, right, when you play around this. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I've done a design here and I like the UI of this. So it's not me going to go and do all of the work again. I don't. I can duplicate my screen, which is what I want to do. Now, how do I duplicate my screen? How do I duplicate my screen? So to duplicate my screen, I'll click on this dot here and you see what? Duplicate screen. I'll duplicate screen. So it has duplicated for me. Where did you click play? Okay, sorry, I'm just in your question. Where did I click play? Play is at the top. Preview. You can click F5 on your keyboard. F5 on your keyboard also does it. F5 shows you, escape takes you back. F5 takes you, escape takes you back. Or you can come to this top and you see play. Play. That's so if you play. Yeah, nice one, show. Yes, true. All right, so yeah. Now, I don't know what ask question. Okay, yesterday I'm moving on now. I'm just leaving the home screen. So for screen 2, for now, you will not be able to do it. So you would come back to do screen 2, right? You would come back to do screen 2. So this screen 2, because I want to do my data here, but you can duplicate, right? You can just copy to this place, copy to where I would work now. Then for the data parts, we'll communicate to you when you can do that. We'll fix that. So now I'm coming to my screen 2. First now to this will change the name. So I want to click on this dots and click on what? Rename. And I want to change the name to what? The form, where they'll fill their form, that request screen. Or request screen. I can change it to what? Request screen. You can just click enter, or you can click outside. Anyone would work. Click enter or click outside. Anyone would work. Okay. So yeah, next is we've renamed our screen. So the next thing is there's some things on this screen that we don't need. So let's go remove them. All those things that we don't need on our screen, we need to take them off our screen. So we don't need the button now. We'll still need another button, but we don't need this. Delete. Hey, sorry. What did I delete? Oh, I think I did something. All right, so let me delete again. Okay, that is good. So I don't need this button. So to delete, you click on it. You can right click and delete. Sorry, it's not delete. You can come here, click on this dot and delete. Or you can click on it The first one, I click on the dot and deleted. Second one, I can just click on it and click on the, to click outside, I'll click on it. You can just click on the delete button on your keyboard. That's what I did. Delete button on my keyboard, delete on my keyboard, delete. That deleted this, right? And I don't need this one too. So I'll click on this what, and I'll delete. Now, I want to bring in another rectangle, right? I want to bring in another rectangle. So let me bring in another rectangle. And why? I want to use the rectangle for my header, the header of my app for my phone. So let me go in. So you can follow me to all of these parts. Right. I hope you are following. I hope we're able to please. I mean, of us are able to complete our front screen, our home screen. At least that one. I know that we took our time here. How many of us able to complete our home screen? Someone said she was working on it. Okay, Sean, are you able to complete your front screen? No picture yet, but you've done the button, right? And you've done the other ones. Okay, yesterday, no picture yet, no worries. You can do big picture maybe later. You can just look for something and download and put there. Right. So, but I'm happy that we're following. Nice one. Nice one. All right. So next thing, let's go to our request screen. I want to put what the header. The header. So I'll go in again and click on what this this plus to insert. So if you notice, each time I want to bring in anything, I go to here, this plus, insert, because I want to insert something. So anytime I want to insert anything, you go to this plus and you insert. So I'll go to plus and I'll insert with my rectangle. And like I said, rectangle has no special feature. It's just for design. So I want to bring in my rectangle. I'll just position it well. So I'll position it on this edge. I'm just adjusting it. So like I said, design is up to you, whichever way you feel fit. So I'm going back to what my tree view. Nice one, James. Completed. Nice one. Hold on. Okay, so now duplicate. Remember what I said? Click on this dot and duplicate to duplicate that screen for you. Then when you duplicate, you click on this dot and you rename. So let me delete this one because I'm not thinking. All right. So now I'm on my screen too. The image went very big, so I can just increase here and reduce here on this lower part. So now this is what my change request form. So let me bring in what I want to display information. I want to display label. I want to display. So I'll go back to what my insert. So you don't need to always navigate back, right? If you are going to be inserting things, you can just stay on your insert. But because I want us to see that we are still on our home screen that time, and now we are on our what request screen. That's what I'm going to preview. But let's go back to our insert, and I want to bring in what label, right? So and I'll just put it here. But you know what? Let me show you what to do again. Let me delete this. Let's go to our tree view. You can copy and paste in PowerApps. Copy and paste. So let me go to my home screen. I already have what a change request app here. I can click on this. I can copy it. Dot here. I can copy this. And I'll minimize it. I'll go to my second screen and I can what click on this and I'll paste it. For those of us that like shortcuts, Control C to copy. I can click on Control C. Let me go to my first screen. Control C to copy. Come to the second screen. Control V to paste. That's the shorter way. All right. For those of us that like shortcut, I like shortcut a lot. So I can click on this and I can just adjust it. All right. Let me minimize it. So just minimize it and adjust it. Right. So you can adjust it to take this full space. Right. I can just take full space. Okay. Right. So you can see it's staying here fine. But first off, our rectangle, I'm clicking back on my rectangle. I'm clicking my rectangle back. It's blue. Blue does not go well, right? Let's change the color. Click on your rectangle to change the property of that thing. If you want to change property of anything, you have to click on it. If you want to change property of this button, I'll click on it. This is white, Abby. I can turn it to yellow. I can turn it back to white. If I want to change property of anything, I click on it. All right. So I want to change property of what my rectangle, I'll click on it. And I want to change what the color. So I don't know, something maybe lighter blue or something. Sorry, I'm not good with the color combination. All right, so, um, okay, I think this works well. Then let's go back to our label. You can change this color to white. So click on this. You can scroll down to color. Now you can change both the background color and the color of the information. I want to change just the color of the information. I'll change the color of the information. So to change the color of the information, I would click on this one here, this A. I'll click on it and I'll change the color to, you can change it to white. White is not good. Let me just make it gray. So all of this is at your discretion. Oh. So this is not compulsory. This is just me trying to figure out what to do. All right. So I'm changing this to, yeah. So I put one color, gray. Then I don't like the fact that it's staying here. No, I don't like it. I want it to be at the center. Right? I want it at the center. So to make it at the center, I would come to alignment. It's very, very simple. Just like your Excel. Alignment. So if I scroll up, you see what? Text alignment. Text alignment. So you can see it's at the edge, like a Microsoft Word. So just come and put it in the middle. So this is looking better. And then the size also might be too big for you, right? You can reduce the size. I've put that to reduce size before. Go to font size and you can reduce it to like a 20. Oh, sorry, 20 is too small. A 25. Then instead of making it bold, you can make it semi-bold. So it's bold, but not bold. I think that's fine. All right. So this is just, like I said, all this is just UI. All right. So I think that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So that's fine. Then that's on to do. Okay. Now, before I go to bringing in my data, I'm talking about data. Let's go back to our home screen. If you click on the play, right, your normal application, if I click on login, what should happen? I should go somewhere else. Abi, I should go somewhere else. That now takes us to PowerApps formula. So let me open a new tab. You don't need to follow me here. I would also drop this for you later in your PowerApps formula. PowerApps formula. I will get the link and send to you. PowerApps formula reference. I'm very, very lazy in cramming the website, so I just formula reference. I just know what to search for, and the first thing that comes up is what I'm looking for. So, I'll get this link and share to you. So there are a lot of formulas you can use the Power Platform, lot and lots. And guess what? Everything is documented on this one page. Everything is documented there, right? So now I want to do what? I want to use a formula, like your Excel formula. I want the user, when you click on this screen, you should take him to what? When you click on home screen, you should take him to what? His request screen. When you come to the app and you click on the home screen, you should take him to what? Request screen. So how do I do that? I'll click on the login button and I would now go and look for what they call on select. So on select is when I select that button, what should happen? Right? When I select that button, what should happen? That's on select. So when you click on the button, you come to this top and you look for the property called on select. O-N. O is arranged alphabetically. On select. So by default is what? Is on false. By default is on false. So I'll delete this and I'll put navigate because what I want to navigate. But if I put navigate, I want to go to another screen. How will I go there? Navigate. So come to your formula reference, your PowerApps formula reference. I'll share this website in short. Let me copy this link and just drop on the chat so that you have it. Okay. Oh, okay. I dropped the chat up, but I don't know why I can't see it. Okay. So let's go to N navigate. See, navigate is what? Change which screen is displayed. And if you click on it, like let me right click and open it in a new tab. Right click on it This is what to bring. It will now open it and show you what can you do with that button, right? I want to navigate. So this is transitioning. This is another, like, you want to transition, you want to do some extra things with the screen, you can learn that, right? Well, let's just stay on the basic one. I want to navigate, and this is how to use your navigate button. Navigate, then the screen you are going to display the details. So it's telling that I want to go to the details of the screen. So if you read through all of this to explain it better for you, right? So let me just go to my next screen. And one good thing with Power Platform is when you start typing, it will bring it out for you. You don't have to type everything finish. Once you are typing, it brings it out for you. It brings out navigate. All I need to do is just put open brackets. And which screen am I going to? Request screen. I'll click on it. And that's all. You see? This is what some people call coding, right? Like I said, it's very, very easy to use. It's formula, right? It's formula. And now if I play my app and I click on my login, take me to my next button, right? So thank you. So that's how easy it is. So now if I'm on this screen, I'm on this screen, I want to go back to my previous screen. I want to go back to the previous screen. So let me minimize this. You can now come back to your inserts, and search for icons, right? Under icons that you can use. So like I said, the icons that are here are very, very basic, right? They're very, very basic. So I want to go back to my home screen. Let me look for home. So I know the name of the icon I'm looking for is what? Home. So you can see. So this is the icon you have in Power Platform, right? It's very basic. But if you come to your icon 8, can you see the icon you have here? You can see how very nice it is. A lot of people don't actually, the design guys, they don't like using this normal one. So they would like to want to use, or they would like to use all of these ones. So they would click on this and use that and bring it to the app. But I'll just keep it simple for now. So let me just position this here and minimize it, right? I'll minimize it. So what I want is when they come to the app, I want them to be able to go back to the home screen, right? That's why I'm using home. So that it gives them that idea of home, right? And when I click on the icon and I brought it, it already opened what the unselect property for me. So one thing you need to take note of is every formula, every action will be on what the unselect formula. Every action I'm going to be doing on the unselect formula. What I want now is just navigate me back to my home screen. So it's very, very similar. Navigate. Right? Navigate. Now to type it finish. I want to go back to what my previous screen, my home screen. So now let's play our app. Preview our app. So if I click on this, it takes me to my home screen. If I click on login, it takes me here. If I click on home, it takes me back. If I click on login, it takes me here. So yeah. So like I said, all of this is just UI. Now we've created our database, right? So let me just bring in our database. I guess from tomorrow, almost 8, we would continue from there. So now I'll click on data and I'll click on add data. So I didn't talk about data. Data is when you want to add any data to your application, any data source. So I click on add data. You can see I can add a lot of things. If I search for SQL, you can see I can search for SQL. You see it here, Abi? All the different kind of SQL, MySQL, SQL Server, Progress SQL, name it, name whatever you're looking for is here. If it's Oracle, because I've used Oracle before. You can see Oracle database. So those are the most popular database. So you're not restricted. Powers can like use anything. But because all of these are paid, right? They are paid for. This diamond means they are paid for. Right. So you need to have created this somewhere. Right. So for us, for one case, we're using what SharePoint. SharePoint. So we're using SharePoint. So this SharePoint. I'll click on SharePoint and I'll click on the SharePoint that came out. Then I'll just look for that list, that information. It is inside one site. So remember, I created the site called what? Power Platform Bootcamp. So this is Power Platform Bootcamp. I'll click on what I created. Then the name of my list is what? Called Change Request List. Let's go back there. Change Request List under Power Platform Bootcamp. So I go back to my app and I'll click on my list. I would connect. And you can see by default it is here. It is here. That's a very, very good. And that's how you can bring in your data to your app. So for this part, from next class will start. So what I really did today was to show us how we can play around the UI, so that from next class we would follow through with our data, because I know right now a lot of us don't have SharePoint. So with what we've done today, right, we should be able to do our tasks. Your assignment before tomorrow is replicate everything we've done today, right, on your environment. For those that are not following, replicate all of this. Then for those that follow through, I'm sure you've not done the SharePoint side. So tomorrow, I'm sorry, when we resolve the SharePoint, we communicate to you on your WhatsApp, and you would go and do this on your environment, right? You create your SharePoint lists. So we can create don't worry, I'll work together with Adenike. Then we'll give you further instruction. But you are going to replicate this on your environment, on your own sites. Then for those that have not replicated this, you're going to replicate screen 1 and screen 2. So for tomorrow, we'll be bringing in our form, we'll fill in our data, then we'll also do the success screen, right? The success screen. All right, so I think with that, thanks for having me. I've come to the end of today's class. I'll hand over to Adenike and Glory. And I'll take questions now. I hope we've learned one or two things. You've gotten something new from today's class. Apologies for the on and off.
Thank you very much, Oluwatobi, for that section. I would say that I've really learned a lot from you today, and I'm sure everyone here has learned one or two things. Thank you very much for your time. Please, if you have any question, please, you can raise your hand or just drop your question in the Q&A, and Oluwatobi would answer your question. So I'll just wait if anyone has any question before we call it a day. And also the quiz for today's section, I will be dropping the link in the Q&A and also on our WhatsApp group. So please try as much as possible to take the quiz so that you see how well you have done, you have learned today. So please, we are awaiting your question if there is any. Any question, please? All right, so I would take the silence and as that we don't have any question. So thank you very much. Tayo, I don't know if you have anything to say. If you also have any challenge with your PowerApps, we'll be on the WhatsApp community and we'll be solving all those issues at the end of the class. Okay, someone is saying that Oluwatobi that I should explain the unselect again.
Okay, all right. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So first thing first, like I said, every single item on Power Platform has a component and has a property. Every single item has a property. Let's go back to our home screen. Now, in short, from your screen, from your screen has its own property. So if I click on my screen, right? I click on my screen and you go to this store up part, this drop down. These are the properties of this screen, right? So the fill is the color. Remember, we changed the color, right? If I click on the drop down, there's some other things I can do. I didn't give much explanation to that because I didn't want to go too in depth, right? We'll still have some other following classes that will be sharing more light on all of this. But just to open your eyes to more things. For example, let me take this on visible. You know, sometimes you log into an application and as the user of the application, maybe like a standard user, you see something. As the manager, you see something else. I can set that on the invisible, meaning if the person log into this app is just a normal user of the app, let the person or the normal staff, let the person see this thing. But if the person log into this application is the CEO of the company, show him this one, right? On visible. This is the property of the screen. So the same way, if you come to your image and you come to this top part and click on this drop down, these are the properties of this image. That is things you can put in to make the image, look better. I can put a border style, a border color. It's going to give that border a color. I can put a thickness. I can put I don't think we did anything on the image. We just got in the image because the image was already fine for us and it was in white background, so we didn't change anything. So we just used it, right? Now let me come to the normal one that we are used to. Our label. If I click on this drop down, Your text is inside the property. This is the property of the label. You have to click on it to see the property. Now, if I click on the size, we change the size, right? Anything you tamper with is going to be bolded, right? We tampered with this text, it's bolded. We tamper with the size, it's bolded. We tamper with the font. Remember, we changed it to SUI. It was on open sax or open something. So if you, it's not wrong to tamper with it. It's just showing you that, oh, you've made a change to this for you to see. I've made a change to what the default, to what was there before. So these are properties, right? Properties of the thing. Now, when I come to my button and I click on that drop down, there's what we call on select. It's just a property like every other property. It's like your color, it's like me changing the color, changing the field. But the on select is what should happen when you click on that thing, right? What should happen when you click on that thing, right? So if I click on my button, I want something to happen, which is I want to navigate. I want to go to the next screen. Let's go back to our second screen. And when we click on this icon and I scroll down, this is the property of the icon. It also has what? The on select. Meaning anything I tell it to do, that's what it will do. They are not just restricted to this. So the other thing that have property. If I click on this rectangle, I'm not sure. Let me check here. Rectangle itself have property. So we didn't put anything in the property of rectangle. That's why it's not going anywhere. Let's try something now. Let's go to our icon. Let's copy this. Let's copy this formula. Let's come to our rectangle. This is our normal rectangle for design. Like I said, we're using this rectangle for design. We're not doing anything special with it. That's how we use it. But some people can use it for something special. So now this is my rectangle. It has a property, and one of the properties is called what? On select. On select. If I come to the on select and I click paste, right? Now let's play our app. If I click outside this is the outside screen. Nothing's happening, right? If I click on the home, remember I told the home to navigate, right? If I click on this big box, it will navigate. It will take me to my premier screen. Why? Because I've told you that when I click on it, on select is what happens when you select that property, when you select that thing, right? So I've told you that when I select it, navigates me. So that's why it's navigating, but we don't want it to do that. So let's just set it back to false, right? So if I play, apologies, okay, yeah. If I play and I click, nothing will happen, right? So we just use our own for design. So there's on select. I'm careful to use the word there's on select on everything, right? Because not everything have on select, but there's on select on almost everything, every property or every item in Power Apps. Meaning, if I click on any item in Power Apps, I can navigate, I can go anywhere, I can do anything, I can send to my data source, right? Right. But on select is the action that happens when you click on that. So if I click on that property, what should happen? And almost everything in Power Apps have on select property. So it's just a property. It's nothing special. So it's just a property, and it is what should happen. It's asking you, whatever I put in your on select is what will happen when I click. So if I click on change request, nothing happens, because if I go back to this, my change request, let me click on it. If I go to the on select, there's on select, it should be on select here. Oh, this on select is what? False. Nothing is happening, right? So everything that nothing is happening, the on select is what is false. But everything that something is happening, I put something there. So on select is just a property, but it is the property that lets you know what to do when you select that thing. I hope that gives a clearer image to what on select is. So we are going to be playing with on select very, very well. So just take note, from next class, we're going to play with on select very, very well, because on select is what is on the on select that you are going to submitting. Is when I click on that button, on the button of tomorrow, we are going to have on select, but we will not be navigating, right? We are going to be submitting or sending data to our database, right? But we are going to set that property on the on select, because I want it that when they fill that form and they click on submit, when they click the button, click on select, when they select that button, you should now go to the database. So tomorrow we're going to be playing with on select. And mind you, the proper your select is not restricted to navigate, right? Everything that you have in that Power Apps reference, I've dropped the link for you on the chat. Everything you have here, let me go back. Everything you have here, these are actions you can carry out. Everything you have here, you can write a formula about everything. So today we only play with one. We only play with N navigates out of everything we have here, right? So everything you have here, you can use on your button, and to be where on the on select of the button. So on select is just what happens when you click or select that button, or when you select that item. Sorry, not button, item. When you select that item, it can be a rectangle, it can be an image, it can be a label, it can be a screen, but unselect is what happens when I select that. So thank you. I hope that clarifies.
Yeah, thank you very much, Oluwatobi. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you everyone for staying with us till this time. It's been more than 2 hours on this call, and it's been a time well spent. So thank you very much, and please try as much as possible to take your quiz, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, 6 p.m. West
Hi,
African time.
Adenike.
Yes, please.
It's Oluwatayo. Please just give me 1 minute. I just wanted to hi everyone. Thank you for joining. This is Oluwatayo. Sorry for jumping in on you like this. I want to encourage you because you've done a great job today, and thank you for staying up to this time. To keep you accountable to your learning progress, it would be a great deal if you can, just something to keep accountability, and so you can also keep yourself accountable to your network. You can share on Instagram, share on LinkedIn, share on your social network, WhatsApp, screenshot of what you're doing so far, so people know that you are adding more value to yourself every day. And it is very important, just so you keep yourself accountable. Things you will see, people give you encouragement and say, oh, you're doing a fantastic job. People would ask you questions, and that's how you slowly start repositioning yourself as a process automation engineer or whatever job title you're hiring, right? So I would encourage you this night, take a screenshot of what you're building, or it could be a screenshot or it could be a screen recording of what you're doing so far. Post it on Instagram. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us that you're building a change request app, and you're using PowerApps or low-code software development technologies. Those are the little things that count and matter for you. So you can do that on Instagram. You can do that on LinkedIn. You can do that on Twitter, wherever your social media is, wherever your presence is felt on social media. It keeps you accountable, really, so that you have something to look forward to tomorrow. At the end of your project, you are able to still update people to say, hey, I built this, I built that. Little by little, even if it is clients you are looking for, that's how people start trusting that, yes, you're doing something great. 6 months from now, you'll be better at it, because people already know, when you started your journey. All right. So please do that. You can also tag Techlytics on your social media when you're sharing that. Adenike will drop all our social media handles. Adenike and Glory, anyone would, they will drop our social media handles in the chat room or in the Q&A room, so that you can keep updated you can keep us updated, and we'll repost, just so we can have a viral effect. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Now back to Adenike. Sorry, I had to steal your 2 minutes.
No problem. It's what it's. So thank you, everyone. I will be sharing the social media platform on the WhatsApp group, because I don't want to keep us waiting again on the call. So thank you very much, and please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Oluwatobi.
Bye.